Hello, my name's Heather French and I'm an independent literacy consultant based in Dubai. I regularly visit schools around the world, training and supporting teachers. In this video, I'm going to show you how to run effective guided reading sessions with your students. I believe guided reading is a fantastic way for children to progress as readers and to develop their comprehension skills and reading fluency. In guided reading, sometimes called group reading, the teacher works with a small group of children all reading the same book. Over the course of 20 to 30-minute teaching sessions, the group will read the text and then discuss what they have read. While this is happening, the rest of the class will be working on other independent activities linked to reading. Each group might work with the teacher once per week, but the children that need extra support could work with the teacher more often. There are several benefits to organising the teaching of reading in this way. Because the book is closely matched to the reading level of the students, they get the right level of challenge to help them develop as readers. The books are not too hard, but not too easy either. The teacher is able to listen to individuals read, stopping to ask questions and addressing any misconceptions as soon as they occur. A small group means that everyone can be involved and share their ideas. It allows children to learn from each other as well as the teacher. Because the teacher hears the children read each week, they can make regular assessments, thinking about the child's progress and what they need to be taught next. When working on independent activities, students have the chance to practice things they have learned in the teaching sessions. Guided reading works best when the books are well matched to the children's reading level. The Understanding Oxford Levels Guide can help you determine the reading level for the children in your class. You can use the guide and your knowledge of the children to decide on a text level that you think most children can read. Then select a higher level for those children that need greater challenge and a lower level for children who require more support. Once you have identified the most appropriate reading level for your children, you can begin to select books for your guided reading sessions. Ideally, you should have a teaching focus in mind for each guided reading session, and then choose a book that helps you to achieve this. When children are first learning to read, guided reading will often focus on supporting children with fluency, helping them to use their phonic decoding skills to sound out words in the text. Once they have read the words, the teacher can focus on supporting their comprehension.
Surprised because he said nests to keep them out.
He said, what's this word?
Nests.
Net. Sound it out again.
Nets.
Nets, that's right. Well done. Working in a small group allows a teacher to address any misconceptions an individual child might have, helping them to make good progress.
How do you think Vicky would say that? Do you think she would just say, be careful? Or how do you think she should say it?
Be careful.
Let me hear you again.
Be careful.
For more confident readers, you might choose a particular book for a particular teaching point. For example, to introduce children to a specific type of text, such as non-fiction, adventure stories or poetry, or to practice a particular skill, such as making predictions or inferring information from the text. When working with more confident readers, guided reading gives the opportunity to use higher order questions to help children gain a deeper understanding of the text.
Well done. Did you recognise that N was turning the A into an A? Did you recognise that?
Well done.
Does Kipper look like he's hungry?
Yes.
How do I know Kipper's hungry?
Because he did his hand like this.
He's asking for cake, isn't he?
When you first get started, you can use the group and guided reading notes to help you get the most out of each book. There is one for every title in Oxford Reading Tree and Project X, and you can download these from the Oxford Owl website. There is a lot of information in the notes, so you can also use a planning template to help you to focus on a specific learning objective that you have identified as the next step for your group. You can find the template on Oxford Owl. Teachers often organise the class into manageable groups of 6. The children within each group should be reading at broadly the same level. It is important to keep the groups flexible and to monitor how well children are progressing, so you can move them depending on their progress. For children who are not yet at the same reading level as the rest of the class, the aim is for them to make quick progress in order to catch up with their classmates. Guided reading sessions can be run at any time during the school day, depending on your school timetable. To begin the session, the teacher will usually introduce the book and outline what the children will be learning in the session. If the group has already begun to read the book, the session might begin by recapping what happened last time. If it is a new book, the children could share their thoughts on what it might be about. You're going to think about the farmer character, yeah? You're going to think about what type of man is he? What type of man is he? And I don't just want one word like sad or happy. I want you to think about what type of adjectives describe him and how you are choosing those words. Find in the text where that is being described. The children will then read part of the book. They might read a section, stop for a discussion, and then read another section. Or they might read for a longer period and then discuss what they have read afterwards. Younger children might read along together, whilst older students would normally read independently in their heads. While the group are reading, the teacher could listen to one or more children read aloud. Let's read the words.
Chip, look around for word letters. I think we need to spell the word magic. He said.
Okay, well done. There is then time for discussion about the book and for the teacher to make a teaching point. Is the farmer a lonely man? Is the farmer a lonely man? Can you talk to each other and decide why?
Because nobody's with him and he don't have much friends, so he thinks that the animals is not his friends because he thinks he's like not very a good person.
Can you find where it tells you? Before the next guided reading session, students might do some follow-up work, reading the next chapter independently or doing some written work. While one group of students are working with the teacher, the rest of the class will be working independently on an activity linked to the reading. This might include using one of the follow-up activities provided in the Oxford Group and Guided Reading Notes, answering some comprehension questions about the book that they have read with the teacher, working independently from the English course book, using dictionaries to look up the meaning of unfamiliar words, listening to an audiobook, or just reading their own reading book for enjoyment. The groups might have a set of different activities that they move through each week, often called a carousel, or the children might all complete the same activity. What matters is that the teacher can concentrate on the group they are working with, while the rest of the class are working on a meaningful activity that will help them to improve as readers. It is likely that the teacher will want to spend some time teaching children what to do when they are working independently. This will help them to get the most out of independent sessions. Guided reading gives teachers the opportunity to work closely with students, tailoring the teaching and the level of the text to their needs. Children can develop their reading fluency and engage in discussion about the books they read. Oxford Reading Tree is a wonderful resource for guided reading because it has so many compelling stories and very, very stimulating illustrations. Guided reading gives you a longer, more in-depth time with the children. If you're working with a child for 20 to 30 minutes, you wouldn't be able to do that in an independent reading scenario. You can also monitor their skills and strategies that they're using. You can support them with decoding, yes, but the comprehension is the key when you're working with guided reading, and to ensure that the children really have understood what they've read.
I think especially here in an international setting, where the level of the spoken English here is so different even within one classroom. We as a school found that we have comprehension issues at STAR, and because of that, guided reading has been timetabled specifically 3 times a week, in which the teacher can then focus on the needs of the children in her class and develop inference and comprehension. They can decode perfectly well, but it's the understanding and the comprehension that proves to be a problem.
So our students are working really well independently while the teacher works with a particular group. I think we've managed to achieve this by embedding this as part of the routine and structure of guided reading from the outset of the year. Because guided reading is embedded in our reading policy throughout the school, as the children go through each key stage, this is really part of their school experience, so they're very capable of organising themselves and getting straight to the task that the teacher has set. As well, the teacher normally works with one group which are set by the teacher. They can range from independent reading, paired reading, sometimes shared reading, teacher read aloud, and then we have different games and activities along with comprehension which the children work on. So each group has their individual task. The teacher circulates and ensures that each child is on task and making progress, and then the teacher time with each group, which occurs once per week, allows the teacher to assess their progress and to build on any particular areas or to close any gaps that the teacher has highlighted in reading that may need to be addressed. Our planning for guided reading consists of each year group teachers sitting down together and outlining the outcomes and the objectives that we wish to focus on. We then take the plan and tweak it to suit the individual needs of the children in our class. So within the lesson of guided reading, I have the plan in front of me, so I'm able to clearly identify what objectives I'm focusing on. I'm able to tick then what the children have achieved and jot in my next steps, so that for the next session I'm able to focus on these particular areas. So it's quite a simple, easy to use approach, and it works really well that all the information is in front of me and I can take little notes as the children are reading, and it forms a good basis for my assessment data as well.
When we talk of reading at STAR, we've actually changed our reading policy and we've included guided reading as a strong focus. So see, at the start of every academic year, we would call in parents for a curriculum workshop, but our big focus is on reading. And especially for new parents who've got little children and they may not understand how children start reading, it's a good time for us to tell them how children decode words, what are the blended sounds and how they promote reading. Also, how to make reading exciting for children.
Put simply, guided reading is a wonderful way to help children to become better readers.